saldi sa pamburadyo. Katong gisultian niya nga bukas wala ka ng trabaho. Nagtrabaho gyud ba ron?
Yes. Yes. That's your question.
Can I join?
The governor will be here.
Let me just explain. He had no right to tell that person, by the way, that person was not our employee. That person was is employed by our partner. This is a PPP, public-private partnership. If you need a reiteration, this PPP went through the process required. Mr. Lu handed in an unsolicited proposal. There were several discussions with the Economic Enterprise Council. This council was created by provincial ordinance way back during my first 3 terms. You see, even before the national government conceived of a PPP center or a public-private partnership center, I already thought about that. That is why we do have existing PPPs that I signed. I was governor then, way back in 2012, with the then Ayala-owned Manila Water, now owned by Mr. Razon, and with PhilInvest. So when the Economic Enterprise Council received the unsolicited, what is the difference? There's the unsolicited, there's the solicited. Unsolicited means there was no bidding because it is a proposal given to the Economic Enterprise Council that they intend to build. By the way, they spent in the building of the toilets, not the provincial government. That is capital outlay for Mr. Lu. They put in the fixtures, the lighting, the plumbing, etc., etc. The solicited is when we put it out for bidding. Our existing PPPs that I signed way back in 2012 represent both. The Manila Water joint venture with the Cebu provincial government was an unsolicited proposal. The PhilInvest land, which we now have, the cyber zone on a build, transfer, operate scheme, 3 towers, there's a 4th tower coming up. That was a solicited. We opened it up for bidding. I am talking for the enlightenment of those who do not know, and for the education of those who are ignorant. This was an unsolicited proposal. This was subjected to lengthy discourse with all of the members of the Economic Enterprise Council. Mind you, the members of this council are no pushovers. Attorney Jong Sepulveda, you know him very well, is ready to just set aside any proposal which he finds disadvantageous. The relevant committees and the chairman of those committees from the provincial board also sit. Department heads are part of that Economic Enterprise Council. And so this partnership with both the North Bus Terminal and the South Bus Terminal was the result of an unsolicited proposal.
Subjected to competitive.
I was going into that. After which, when we had arrived at major agreements, not yet the details, this was then subjected to the necessary Swiss challenge. What is that? For the education of those who do not know, we publish twice in a newspaper of general circulation the invitation to bid, to challenge the submitted proposal. And of course, this was published twice. Nobody, no company, because there is none such in the country today that would be willing to spend in building these toilets, to pay the salaries, including that person that this senator told unceremoniously that bukas wala ka ng trabaho. Wow. Wow. They pay for the salaries of the administrative and the janitorial personnel. And they pay for all the supplies. Toilet paper, soap, hand towels, air freshener, whatever you want. You can go anytime for your 10 peso payment. 10 pesos, which you cannot even buy a bag of peanuts now. Or when you bet in the tigbakay,
Taplak-taplak.
you bet at least maybe what? 500 pesos? Or when you get your hair rebonded, that's even, how much? How much is the rebond ba?
2,000 pinakabarato.
Premium gid ang imuha na.
And you complain about a 10 peso where you have free toilet paper, you have free hand towels, you have free soap. It's a very clean, well-maintained toilet
Nice
because Mr. Lu pays for the janitorial and administrative personnel. And if we are referring to the law, which is Republic Act
11311.
Republic Act 11311, if you want a toilet that is free,
Agan.
go to SM. Because this terminal is located in the property owned by SM. We are not renting. The province is not renting for the space. Walay abang. Why? Because it is a symbiotic, look it up, symbiotic relationship. It is an arrangement which is advantageous to SM because those that will take the buses might wish to go in and buy items that they could bring to our northern towns. And by the way, this video was watched by all of our mayors that belong to our northern towns, starting from Consolacion and all the way up to the islands. Because that will be our route tomorrow when we will be doing the northern caravan the same way that I did it for the south in the opening salvo. And I have something to say about that. This was watched by all the mayors and they were disgusted because a facility run by this provincial government that has tried its utmost best to come in when there was a huge problem regarding their constituents. We can only thank the intervention of SM through Miss Eloisa Fernan, because she said, I know that you are hard put in looking for the area that would be
Appropriate for a facility like this.
yes, exactly, because you cannot put this
400
inside a
square-
subdivision or we have land in Maria Luisa. We can put it there.
Kalodasar.
So they offered. But They did not do it because, she was just being friendly to me. No. Because as head, Visayas and Mindanao now, I think, the Vice President, she also saw that it would be advantageous to SMCT. So, nobody, even kahit ako, I don't have the right to tell that employee, bukas wala ka ng trabaho. Because she was not my employee. It was the employee of Mr. Liu. I mean, if we hold public office, even though we're not lawyers, I'm not one, but it's also incumbent upon us to first be very, very circumspect. Look it up. Careful, that's a synonym. Circumspect in the way we conduct ourselves, regardless of whether this involves our professional obligations or our personal conduct. Because once we have asked the public to trust us by voting for us, we are now set aside from the ordinary man on the street. Because we took an oath of office. I will repeat this. I have memorized it because I have said this so many times in taking my oath or in administering oaths of office for other officials. And there is always this statement that we swear to, that I shall obey all laws, legal orders, and decrees promulgated by the duly constituted authorities. Now, before you swear to obey these laws, of course, logically, you have to know what these laws are. How can you obey something that you do not know anything about? And ignorance of the law, whether you are an ordinary citizen or you are a senator, a sitting senator of this Republic of the Philippines, excuses no one. So, it is incumbent upon us, public officials, to be more circumspect in the manner by which we conduct official and personal business. And to answer your question, Mr. Sunstar, regarding the electric fund, this is also for your education, Sunstar, because he was specifically pointing to this electric fund that was not functioning as though it were the end all and be all of your existence here on earth. May I read? While the National Building Code of the Philippines doesn't explicitly mandate electric fans in open space bus terminals, kindly switch to for the education. And just as a reminder, I hope he remembers what the terminal looked like. He might have been too focused on the cameras, but please, can you switch to what the terminal looked like? I repeat, Mr. Sunstar, while the National Building Code, this is for emphasis, there's a particular picture there, okay? Of course, we cannot put that inside the building, not yet. Go back to where the offices are.